Mike Ibarra, former executive of some kind that has worked at Xbox and worked at Blizzard, and then they acquired Blizzard, and he switched positions, he switched roles or companies. He said, first off, the next Xbox consoles are just PCs. Well, hold on. If the news is that they're hybrids, then you must qualify it as hybrids because that's of significant importance. Excuse me, I have to say, because the Xbox user base has been very particular of the things that they want. And seeing the feedback from the ROG Xbox Ally and ROG Xbox Ally X, I think it stands to go. And even seeing the advertising that you'll be able to, have your library be backward compatible, it goes to stand that that device is not just going to be your Windows PC by itself, or at least it will have the element of the Xbox console to carry and deal with those Xbox games, unless they're just going to emulate it, right? Unless they're going to go ahead and do that. Of course, it's always been a PC too. I mean, depending on how you've been looking at it, right? It's just been a limited access, lack of admin privileges PC that you pay more for. And it was subsidized at one point, and no longer are they wanting to subsidize it. Let's go ahead and get those things clear. But it's a tweet, so maybe he's trying to be short. And then he says, which is fine, but maybe this is why they're killing add-ons. Casual WoW Inc. In a report from Windows Central, they revealed that the next Xbox console will be able to run Battle.net Store and World of Warcraft. Now, I don't know what Mr. QWIK's qualms is with this reality. Everybody is just basically freaking out over, Xbox's moves. Could they be doing the right thing? I wonder. I think they are. I think moving and, implementing PC into their ecosystem is, number one, pro-consumer. Number two, it gives their customers something that is an option that PlayStation or Nintendo does not give. All the talk about people saying, oh, they're not going to make any money because the money is going to go to Steam and Epic Games and all that. My dude, they were never going to make that money in the first place. I don't know why it's not sinking in people's brains. Like, that they weren't going to get a dime of all that money that you guys are all crying about. But here's one foundational piece of the whole thing. They've bludgeoned PlayStation by taking their biggest live service baby, adding it to their live service piece, and this pillar of them pretty much smacking third-party exclusivity into the ground, right, is one that many of these people aren't necessarily willing to talk about. You see, third-party exclusivity has always, in my opinion anyways, it looked like a little weird, sleight of hand against Xbox from a competitive standpoint, which is interesting because the FTC lady in the FTC documents, they were saying, these businesses will not be able to hold down, Microsoft's Xbox if they acquired Activision, which made me laugh, right? Because these games somehow will launch, right? And they'll go to PlayStation, then they'll go to PC. Sometimes they'll announce that they're going to PC, Black Myth Wukong and Stellar Blade, Project Eve. And then they'll just abandon Xbox like, oh, Xbox doesn't even matter, right? And people started to make this connotation. See, they're abandoning Xbox because they're not doing anything in their console. Do y'all remember that lie? I didn't forget that lie. And then because of this, they make it seem like PlayStation was relevant. Oh, go to PlayStation and play. Or you go to, sadly, PC. But Xbox said that nonsense is going to now go burn in a volcano somewhere, as we are now going to pretty much have PC. Please bring your exclusive to wherever the flip you want. We're waiting for you right there. And so now this game called Luolan, I think that's the name of the game, right? This is the game you're seeing over here. An indie game, a PS5 game, and a PC or Xbox game, however you want to put it. Look at it. Look at the ad. The Xbox gamer can sit back and just laugh. Xbox Day One. And y'all know I hate exclusivity, so I'm constantly peppering this point because I want to see this practice actually be obliterated because it's the most anti-consumer piece of the puzzle. Now, if these cats, maybe they just could not get into Xbox, because of some constraints and whatnot, I can understand. I'm not saying that they actually did a money hat deal. I don't know. I do know for Black Myth Wukong because Phil Rosenberg said that, all right? That was one of the biggest displays of dishonesty from a lot of the PlayStation community. All right? Right there. But if you have an Xbox that would allow for you to access Steam, you're not waiting for these games. You're not perturbed by the fact that these games are being pretty much artificially locked away from your ecosystem, because this game is eventually going to find its way. Like, help me out. How many PlayStation users are interested in playing anything other than Call of Duty, FIFA, NBA 2K, Fortnite, Minecraft, Roblox, Apex Legends, and whatnot? How many? Apparently, the percentage is not really that impressive. And then within that percentage, just bumped my mic, that's not interested in playing these games, what other games are fighting for their attention and fighting for their dollars? Also, what other social media platform is fighting for their attention and fighting for their dollars? Any developer that's going to market right now, that's not trying their best to get to be everywhere, they are hurting themselves. There's not enough money to be made in many cases from an individual platform for majority of the games. Now, some games, they hit it, regardless of where they go ahead and launch. Don't get me wrong. They're able to hit it big if they launch it, only on PC, but we're starting to see a trend. Even some of the bigger games are going straight to good old games to launch. And we're also now seeing some games retroactively become Xbox Play Anywhere games after they have launched. And some going to good old games after they launch. Games are now becoming much more widespread than you would think. And this is what makes it very interesting for me. I'm looking at Space Marine 2. And I'm like, you do know you guys have an entire game on here that people like and would love to buy. Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2 also has come here as well, because this is one of the biggest places where you can actually play it. But the game is rated so low. This game is probably going to dip to like $4. If RoboCop is $4.99, I'm not giving these guys money for this. They'll sell the whole bundle for me for like $11.99 or something like that. Apparently, because people aren't digging the game. It's unfortunate. Yeah? Oh, they have a PDX launcher? Oh, I thought this was going to be DRM free. What the flip? What kind of PDX launcher are they actually doing? It says DRM free. Well, Baldur's Gate 3 has something like that. Well, they'll probably have to go ahead and modify that to sell more copies. That's the thing. You can't come on Good Old Games and do this trash. Good Old Games, you don't need to pay attention to these folk, man, and let them know, like, if they're about to make a critical error. Right? So when you're thinking about what's going on in the gaming industry, you got to understand that this piece of the puzzle is already done. As an Xbox user, if you use Xbox, you're going to be akin to the PC user, but you'll now have Xbox benefits as well, just like some PC users do, to whatever extent you want to have it. You can go ahead and jump into these libraries. You can go ahead and jump on Steam. You can go ahead and get yourself access to games that you'd probably not get access to, or you probably wouldn't have never gotten access to in the past. And it's quite interesting at the end of the day. Like, it really does it does blow my mind that exclusivity has just basically been, maneuvered and subverted. It used to be a thing. Like, it used to be the thing that everybody talked about. Oh, this game is coming to this and that's and that. It's like, what? Right? That's the beautiful part of it. That this is where people are now, and so it changes the conversation. It changes the dynamic. Which, ladies and gentlemen, is absolutely fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. Can't run away from it, guys. Thanks for watching the video. Talk to me in the comment section. Peace out.